the dogs lick your face or not. Whether you have a wife or just a wife-shaped loneliness waiting for you, coming home is terribly lonely. So that you will think the oppressive barometric pressure back where you have just come from with fondness, because everything's worse once you're home. Think of the vermin clinging to the grass stalks. Long hours on the road, roadside assistance, ice creams, and the peculiar shapes of certain clouds and silences, with longing because you did not want to return. Coming homes. Just awful. And the home-style silences, clouds contribute to nothing but a general malaise. Clouds, such as they are in fact suspect and made from a different material than those you left behind. You yourself are cut from a different cloudy cloth, returned, remaindered, helmet by moonlight, unhappily packed, slacking all the wrong spots, clothes,
Fail. Hello. Let's try this. Let's try this again. Um, okay. Hello. Hopefully you can hear me now. I what EQ do I have on my mic? I don't know. Um, I don't even remember what I just said. So let's try this again. Hi, I'm streaming. I wanted to do this yesterday. If you saw on my Twitter, there was a little bit of a fail there. So I ended up just doing it on Twitch and playing Balatro. If you're in my Patreon Discord, you definitely saw my fail there because I pinged everyone twice and then couldn't even stream on YouTube. Um, Hi. I don't want to. So I used to stream before I was on YouTube. I liked to play games, so I like streaming. But I feel like playing games on my music channel doesn't make a lot of sense. So I've been trying for a while to think of something because I don't like. I'm not great at like reacting to music. I've tried it a bit, and it's not my thing. So I'm trying to think of things that I can stream that are not games and not music reactions. So this is what I settled on. Every year in January, I make my Topster, um, where I do my favorite albums of all time, and it looks a lot more like this than the 5x5. And so I figured I'd build that live. If I was gonna do it anyways, I might as well do it for an audience. So so how I am going to do it is basically I have enough albums that I would consider to be 10 out of 10s that would fill the whole thing and more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my 10 out of 10s and I'm going to do like kind of I'm going to split it into three categories. I almost went to show it with my hand on my screen, but you can't see that. Um, I'm going to do a top section of like this is the upper echelon of all of music. This is my favorite music ever. There's going to be another section here which is like I really want it to be on the list. Like it has to be on the list even if it's not like my favorite album of all time. And then the bottom section is going to be like stuff that I want to see on the list, but I will be okay if it gets cut. Because even with like a 12 by 12 is what 144 spaces, that's not even half of the albums I have as like a 10 out of 10. So yeah, uh yeah. So I'm just gonna go. If you want, I'm gonna post in my chat here the my rate your music, so you can see what I'm working with for my 5 stars. I'm just gonna go alphabetically by artist, and just gonna put it in one of the 4 categories to start. Do I already have a 10 out of 10 in 2025? Yes. I don't know if you can hear it now. I still have it super quietly because I don't like talking to nothing. But the creator of my first 10 out of 10 for 2025 is in the chat right now. Speak up if you know who you are. You know who you are. All right. Let's get started. I am excited for the new Swans album. I hope it's not the final one. I didn't actually see the confirmation of it being the final Big Sound one. I hope it's not. But either way. Yeah, let's get started. So, starting up at the top, let me just title this real quickly. Boundo Topster. Alright. It's right there, easy. 100 gex, 1000 gex. So, this is a great album. This is one of the more formative albums for me. I think if you look at my Last FM, which I don't look at my Last FM that often, but if you do, you will probably see that it is my #1 most listened album of all time. And most of that comes from, like, when it came out, like, 2019 to, like, 2021. I was listening to it all the time. And I won't say it's grown off me. I still think it's, like, basically a perfect album. But it is less my style now than it was back in the day. So, I think I'm going to put it in the lower third, but it'll be high up on the lower third. It's gonna make the Topster, but it's not gonna be, like, all-time great for me, probably. We'll see. This is all, like, super, what's the word I'm looking for? In flux. Like, it'll fluctuate a lot as we go on. All right. Next 10. So the other thing I'm going to be doing with this is I'm going to do one per artist, because that will hopefully whittle it down a lot, because I know, like, Swans and Ween both have, like, 4 or 5 10s for me, as well as, like, Godspeed. So, one of my favorite bands is Andrew Jackson Jihad. I have never typed for an audience before. So, my 2 10s from them are People Who Eat People and Can't Maintain. And I think I'm gonna go with Can't Maintain. I know AJ, like, this is the one that everyone loves, but I think if you have heard this one and liked it and haven't heard Can't Maintain, I think it's not, like, better in every way. Like, they're both basically perfect albums. But for me, Can't Maintain is a lot more personal and, like, heartbreaking almost, especially in the back half. It's a lot more kind of stereotypical, oh, I hate my father, which is, like, a big AJJ thing. But I think it is, the songs are tighter to me, and I think they go a lot more interesting places. So I think where I'm going to go with this is the middle range. It'll probably end up in the lower middle range, but that's what I'm thinking for right now. I'm going to turn off the show titles just for now, because you guys can't read it, I can't read it, but when I upload this, like, as an image, then I'll include the titles. Why do I have so many 10s? Honestly, I just kind of love music. Like, here, let me put this on screen and go to my profile. I'll show my my statistics. In general, like, it's still, I definitely have a curve, and I listen to a lot of music, not as much as some people on this nightmare site. But I just, like, I don't get a lot of joy out of being overly critical about music, and it's why everything I do on my channel is positive. Like, I don't like tearing things down, even if, like, if I don't like it, I'm not going to talk about it, I'm not going to spend too long thinking about it, because it's not worth it to me. Like, for me, I get so much more out of exploring sounds that I know I will like, or sounds that I think will be interesting to me. So yeah, this is why I've got a lot more tens than most people. So yes. Okay, back to albums. Let's go with, I'm debating whether I include this because it is a side project of Swan's, but I think I'm going to Angels of Light. How I Loved You. This is one. I failed to type light. This is probably in my top 5, maybe even top 3 favorite Swans related projects. It is unbelievably beautiful. It goes more into like the kind of gothic country sound that like evolves from their White Light Love of Life era, and I think it does even better than those albums did for just sheer like emotional potency and this really like oppressive atmosphere without actually using any oppressive sounds. So this one is going here. It's not quite like peak Boundo core, like some of the stuff we'll get to soon, but it is incredible. Yeah, this is where I'm gonna put it for now. All right, next let's go this one that I am sure none of you have heard, and I'm also not sure how I am going to find this. So hopefully if I can just copy and paste this. Oh, there we go. Easy. All right. This Luigi Nono piece, specifically performed by, I don't want to read all these names. I'm sorry. Look at the, I posted again my my Rate Your Music link. Look on the first page of my tens and you'll find this. This piece is some of the most like ominous and like incredibly difficult classical music you're ever going to hear. It is so apocalyptic. It completely changed my view of what classical music can be and do. So this is going to go here for now. I might even put it up. But where I'm at right now is I think it's probably towards the top of this. So I'm going to put this here. I'm also going to put Angels of Light above Can't Maintain. But I'm going to keep the Luigi Nono piece above the... I completely lost what I was saying. This is... I have never read a chat while talking, and it is so... it is a new skill set to have to do. How many people are in here right now? 41. That's nice. Hell yeah. All right. Let's go from there. Aphex Twin. So I want you guys, if you are not looking at my Rate Your Music, don't spoil it if you are. I want you guys to guess my favorite Aphex Twin album, because I think that'll be fun to see. Because they are all fantastic. He's one of my favorites, obviously. He kind of has to be. But there is one album that stands well up above the rest for me. So I'm going to wait a second, let the chat catch up. I'm curious if anyone has guesses. Saw 1, Saw 2, Richard D. James. Every single person has said a different answer right now. But the real answer is Drux Use. This album is unbelievably good. And for an album as scattered and disparate in sounds, like no, it doesn't flow. And it's really long. It's more than 2 hours long. But every single song is the greatest electronic music song of all time. It is just unbelievable. And of course the top ones, like the best songs on here, like Avril 14 and what's it called, Mount St. Michael, and Cock version 10, that whole streak there is like the best music ever made. That is like one of the best 3-song runs of all time, point blank, period. So yeah, this is my favorite Aphex Twin album. It's the most like aggressive too, which is why I love it so much. There is plenty of atmosphere and whatever, but this is incredible. So I'm gonna keep it. Do I want to move it up to this oh, I got rid of it. Do I want to move it up to this section? I think for now I'm gonna put it at the top of this section, but it's like right on the edge. So yeah. All right. Another one I'm gonna let you guys guess my favorite album of. Fiona Apple. This one should be less hard to guess, but I'm still curious if there's any different answers, because this is, again, Fiona Apple is one of the greats, one of my favorite artists, and she has, I think, less albums to choose from than Aphex Twin, but a similar number. I think she's got 5. How am I defining the sections? The sections are defined by literally just like the top section is like boundo core, like the ones that are my albums, and then the second section is like albums that have to make the list, and then the third section is albums that like I want to make the list but might get cut if I have too many to fit. All right, let's see what the guesses are. When the Pawn, Bolt Cutters, Idler Wheel. All right. Well, I see a similar amount for Idler Wheel and When the Pawn, and it's When the Pawn. When the Pawn is the first album going in the absolute top. This is one of the greatest albums of all time. I am constantly in awe of how good every single song on this album is, and it's an album that like I have learned all of these songs to play on guitar and like play at open mics. It's so good. It's her tightest project too. I think there's like literally no fat to trim across the whole thing. It's amazing. Yeah, I'm also learning, because what I usually do, I script my videos, and sometimes I'll do little riffs on what I've written, but I don't really talk into a camera alone. Like when I've done streaming in the past, even I never did it alone. I was always doing it with someone else in a voice call. So this is difficult for me. But let me know. Hopefully I'm doing okay. It's something I'm just gonna have to get more comfortable with. All right, album from, I guess not last year anymore, 2 years ago, 2023. Hi's in the chat. Harry, he's gonna be happy about this one. Armand Hammer. We Buy Diabetic Test Strips. It's their best record. Billy Woods is the best rapper. Period. And I think Elucid on here also is matching him at every step. The production is ridiculous. I don't remember what I said when I talked about it in my year-end video that year, but it's so good. Yeah, so I am going to... I'm being too, like... I feel like I'm either being too generous or too picky. Like, I don't feel... There's one thing at the top and there's one thing at the bottom, but I really don't think I could put We Buy Diabetic Test Strips lower than this section either. So these sections are probably going to get, like... the top section's going to get shorter, the bottom section's going to get shorter. There's going to be a lot in the middle to be ordering. Diabetic Test Strips, I probably like more than Can't Maintain, but not more than like Angels of Light in this No piece. So that's where I'm sitting with it. I've just realized that there's going to be... I have 144... No. Yes, 144 spaces to fill. And I'm talking at length about every single one. So I'm going to try and speed this up. Another one for Harry in the chat. The Armed. Untitled. One of the most ridiculous mathcore, like hardcore punk albums ever. And for me, it's not like a personal pick. Like, I love this album, but it's not like a personal album to me. So I am going to put it down at the bottom here. But unbelievably good punk record. No notes. What's my favorite Boris album? Well, you'll just have to wait and see. Anything else in the chat going on? I made a mistake because my light is right here and chat is also right here, so it's really I have to squint really hard to see it. Okay. Normal distribution everywhere, yeah. Okay. So moving on from the armed, let's go. This one will be no surprise to anyone, I hope. Arrogant Sons of Bitches. Perfect ska album. One of, like, the first Jeff Rosenstock masterpiece. And it is so ridiculously perfect. On every single level, it is just incredible. It is so fun. There are so many hooks. It's so aggressive. He's so angry on this record, more angry than I feel like we often hear him, even on some of the like bomb the music industry stuff. I'm gonna move this up. This is gonna go up at the top. This is like peak. This is one of the best things he's ever done. One of the best albums ever made. The best ska album ever made. And I don't think it's even that tight of a competition. For as much as I do enjoy ska, this is like the la crème de la crème, as we say. All right, first album from, let me see. Yeah, okay. First album from this year, Asleep Country Lux. The 8-hour album that none of you listened to, and that's okay. I know Lua Trilogy and Harry listened to it. But yeah, if you didn't watch my end of year video, what are you even doing here? But this is like one of the most insane feats of music of all time. 8 hours of just the most incredible, ridiculous electronic music ever, and not a single second of that like 8.5 hours gets stale at all. It's just this huge monolith of music, and I love it so much. I'm gonna see, what if I zoom? No, zooming in does not bring the box larger. So this is the maximum size. The box is the too short Lux. Yeah. Not staying for the stream. Well, thanks for stopping by, thing too. Yeah, this is gonna go around here. I'm gonna put it, I don't think it's better than Diabetic Test Strips for me, but I'm gonna put it right here for now. Alright, old album now. I hope some of you have heard of this, because this is like incredible, but let's go Virginia Astley from Gardens Where We Feel Secure. This is one of the best ambient albums ever. It's more like new agey than ambient, but it is still very much ambient. It's a nature album. It is a very living, lush, beautiful record. And it's one that I forgot to talk about when I made my ambient video. But it really is just one of the best. I'm not as attached to it. I'm probably going to put it here above the Armed. I would really like to see it make the list, but it's going to be, the competition is only going to get steeper as we go. All right, let's go with another classic, At the Drive-In. It has to be this one, Relationship of Command. Just listen to the first track on this. I think it's Arcarsenal, and tell me it's not one of the most insane things you have ever heard. Just super aggressive, super ridiculously good. It's fantastic. I think I like it, at this point, I like it more than any of their stuff as the Mars Volta. There was definitely a time where a Mars Volta album we'll talk about soon was higher, but I think at this point, this is like their peak for me. And I'm going to go ahead and put it right behind Drux. Hello, Joel. Why are you gay? But yeah, shout out shout out Uboa. This shirt is sick. I'm actually gonna stand up and show it a little. Oh, maybe my headphones are not long enough, but it goes hard. Oh. All right. Another one from this year. Harry is gonna be so happy about this. Audrey. I have to add the twice. Come on. Come on. This is not it. There we go. Audrey Twice. This is one of my favorite albums from last year, and you hopefully saw the video where I talked about it, but if you didn't, it is just the prettiest, like, Bandcamp core music out there. It's so evocative. It really brings in just a beautiful vibe that is completely unmatched everywhere else. This is my favorite Audrey album. Sorry, Harry. I do like More Stretch by the Curtain a lot, but I think this is better. I'm gonna put it above The Armed, but I'm gonna keep it in the lower section for now. It's really hard, like, I feel like I am saying bad things about the albums when I put them down there, but again, these are all albums I think are either perfect or really personally affecting to me. So I can't make myself feel too bad about it. All right. This one, I'm going to let you guys again guess, similar to Aphex Twin. What do you guys think my favorite Autechre record is? I should keep the VOD of this up. I'm not sure how. I've never streamed on YouTube before. But if I can figure it out, I would like to keep this VOD up. So, what do you guys think my favorite Autechre album is? I'm going to get to Imogen Heap, Joel. I guess I spoiled it. But yes, Imogen Heap will be on here. But I'm going alphabetically by artist. NTS Session, Confield. Oh, hi, 108 Mics. Hello. Shout out 108 Mics. The other best. I have to put myself at number one because I have to feel that way. Otherwise, I'm not going to make videos. But the third best music YouTuber, because the other best music YouTuber is Professor Sky, who, if you're not watching, you should be watching because he is actually the internet's busiest music nerd. Incunabula. Joel, you don't know who Autechre is? Good lord. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and put it here. Hopefully this is the right one. I'm going to put LP5 by Autechre, which is... I have to do some more listening. Eventually I am going to make Let's Get You Into Autechre. But I'm not sure how to differentiate this in words from their other stuff, but to me it's just so much more invigorating. It's so exciting. It is so drastic in its shifts from song to song and within the songs. I adore this record. I think I like it more than... Do I like it more than Drux? Is it going to move up? Yeah, let's put it up here. Let's put it up here. I think it is, like you were saying, Harry, the best entry point to them. And it's just so fantastic. I'm going to put it up here. It's going to go under these two. But I think it's Boundocore. All right, and then, what do you guys think my favorite Animal Collective I don't need to write album is? This one might be tough, because I've only talked about Merryweather on my channel, and when I talked about Merryweather, it was 3, going on 4 years ago? So yeah, I'm curious what you guys are going to guess about this. What do I think about Confield? Confield is their only, like, classic album I haven't heard yet. How cardiac pilled are you? I have not gotten as far into... I haven't had the time to really dedicate to the Cardiacs that I would like. I'm still planning on like going through their discography. I love Sing to God, like I talked about in my video, but yeah. So people are saying Spirit, Post Pavilion, Feels. You guys are right. Oh, I failed. It's Spirit. Spirit, they're gone. Spirit, they vanished. Just the most ridiculously, it's by far, maybe not by far, it is probably their most experimental, while still being good. I don't like campfire songs. I'm sorry if Still Beaches is here from the Discord, but Spirit is their most experimental while still having the sauce in terms of songwriting and like performances. And I just love it a lot. It has this really unique kind of like, it's obviously psychedelic, but it's not psychedelic in the way I feel like you normally think of psychedelic music. It's a lot more harsh and a lot more, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but if you've heard the album, you know what I mean. Like, it's a lot more sharp and shimmery, I think is what I'm looking for. I am going to put it in the lower section, but I'm going to put it right behind 100 gex as like this could move up in the in the long run. All right, what is the classical album? So I don't want to say the title out loud because it's long as fuck, but I am just going to type it in the chat. I'm just going to copy paste it. Luigi No long ass title. All right. Next up, we've got the first, I think, soul album, Baby Huey, with the Baby Huey story. This is just kind of, it's probably the best Chicago soul album. He was just such a phenomenal vocalist, and the songwriting here, like the songs that aren't covers are unbelievably good. The covers are performed incredibly well. This probably has my favorite version of A Change Is Going to Come. He's just so emotive and so like, he's doing so much with these kind of standards. If you haven't heard this and you're into like funk and soul music at all, it is like an absolute must listen. That said, it is not my favorite soul album of all time. There will be more coming. So I'm going to put it even above 100 gex. This is going to be now top of the pile of this section. Now is a hard choice, because if you watch at least my year-end videos, you know that I am a big backwash stan, back X wash. And I have to decide between these two albums. I Lie Here Buried and His Happiness Shall Come First. And I am constantly flipping back and forth, because I think the songwriting ideas, the production, everything is a lot more adventurous on His Happiness. But I think I Lie Here Buried just like has resonated with me a lot more. I think it has stuck a lot closer to my heart. So I think whichever one, it's going in the top. Oh, I just remembered as well, though, his Happiness has that ridiculous Geist Guevara verse. But I Lie Here Buried samples Godspeed, so I think that's what I'm doing. I think I'm going with I Lie Here Buried, and I'm gonna put it up there. And if you watched my video I made for my birthday this year, where I was talking about my favorite album from every year of my life, this next one should not be too much of a surprise. Beach House, Bloom. just like the best dream pop album. I might need to walk that back, but I do think it is almost as close to the best. Like, it is maybe the best dream pop album of all time. I just, it's so beautiful, and it has their tightest songwriting. Lazuli is their best song, maybe. Oh, this is getting harder and harder as it goes on because I love all of this music, and I don't know how to make saying I love an album over and over sound interesting without a script where I'm writing it down. But yeah, this is gorgeous. Greatest of all time material. I'm gonna put it in this row. I'm gonna put it behind Drux, above At the Drive-In. I think. Am I gonna put it above Drux? I'm gonna put it above Drux. That's what I'm feeling like right now. That might change. All right. Here's the worst band of all time. The Beatles. I'm not even going to make you guys guess what my favorite one is. I feel like I have the most basic pick, but like, it's Abbey Road. It's got to be Abbey Road. And I don't think, with how much this list is going to end up having to get cut off, I do think it's not even going to make the Topster, but it is just a perfect album. It doesn't necessarily mean anything to me personally, but it's just, it's a perfect album. They really they were the biggest band in the world for a reason. So I'm gonna put it here. It's probably gonna end up getting cut off, but it is that good. Do we have any metal on this list already? I don't think so. So I think this is our first metal album, and it's not an aggressive one, but let's go. Bell Witch. Mirror Reaper. This is one of the biggest sounding albums ever. Just huge, single 80-minute track, but within that time it manages to go through so many emotions, do so many things, and feel even larger than its already pretty massive scope. And especially considering it is just... My understanding is Bell Witch is two people. It's a bassist and a drummer. Yes. Yeah, no, it's just, it's two people. And it could not sound larger for that. I'm going to put it here. I'm probably going to keep it in the bottom of this section, but I do... If I'm leaving this here... Oh, man, this is tough. I'm going to move it down, and I'm going to put it right behind Baby Huey, because I still... No... God, this is difficult. Uh-oh, what have I done? Now there's an empty gap. Okay, this is going at the bottom of this section for now. Also, yes, the album cover. Greatest of all time. Let me see if I can pull up a bigger one. Come on, I'm not a robot. Oh, that's not even that much bigger, but look at that. Incredible. All right, let's get back to it. Let me drink some water. Shout out to my 2-liter water bottle that is so heavy. Is this going... I am hoping, uncommon denomination, I am hoping to get this... like, to save the VOD. I don't know how to do it. I've never streamed on YouTube before, but if I can figure it out, I am gonna make it available later and make like a thumbnail for it and everything like that. Let me mess with my webcam. I'm noticing there's a lot of headroom, and it's covering a lot of space. There. That should be a little better, I hope. Okay. moving on to this one. Shouldn't be a surprise. Bjork, greatest artist ever, maybe. Lots of... She has at least 2, maybe 3 10s for me. But Vespertine is like... Spoiler alert, definitely going to be top 10, almost certainly going to be top 5. This is the best pop album ever, maybe. Like, just ridiculously, unbelievably good in every way. You've heard other people talk about it as much as necessary. But yeah, it means a lot to me personally. It is also just utterly flawless. One of my favorite albums by a lot. Sorry, I have the hiccups. All right. Probably not a surprise to anyone. Let's go. Black Country, New Road. Ants from Up There. This album has... I don't know if I would say it's grown off of me. There was a time where this was like absolute peak of music for me, and especially in a time where Arcade Fire became kind of like Will from that band became kind of persona non grata. This really filled that void for me, and I still think it's amazing. I still think it's incredible. Doesn't really hold as much personal stake for me as it used to. It's still just one of the best albums ever, though. I am probably feeling... What do you mean put the track X single? Because it's right there. I'm happy with it here for now. Okay. Let's do another one similar to Backwash, Black Dresses. So I got a comment actually about this one, Laughing Fish, and I loved that record. I think it is a great final record. It's a bit of a mess, which makes sense, all things considered. I wanted to talk about it, but the whole breakup of that band and that relationship felt way too volatile for me to really... I didn't want to weigh in on any of it, and I didn't have much else to say about it, and so I ended up not even listening to it as much as I feel like I would have normally, because it felt so volatile to the point where it was getting uncomfortable for me, especially because Black Dress is one of my favorite bands ever. And so it was hard. So for my favorite album, it's not going to be Laughing Fish. It's between these two. And I think for me, because I think Forever in Your Heart is maybe the better album. But Peaceful as Hell changed my life. And I can't look past that. Peaceful as Hell is probably going to be in the bottom of the top section, but Peaceful as Hell is one of the best kind of noise pop industrial sounding records out there. It has so much heart in it. There is so much... This album to me is like... Because it came out right early quarantine. Beginning of... It was like early mid 2020. And this is what 2020 sounds like to me in my head. It is having an online slumber party with your friend while the world outside burns. And I love it so much for that. It genuinely just changed the way I perceive everything in that moment. So I'm going to put it here. And yeah, just incredible. All right, this one might be a surprise. Back to metal a little bit, starting with Black Sabbath. What do you guys think my favorite Black Sabbath album is going to be? This is not a... like I talk about metal on the channel. Oops, sorry. I talk about metal on the channel, but I don't really like ever talk about kind of boomer metal. So I am curious what you guys think my favorite is gonna be. Wow. I don't even need to let it run anymore. First person got it. Sabotage is my favorite Black Sabbath album. The songwriting is just so tight, so perfect. It has their absolute best songs, their heaviest songs too. And all of the like more experimenty stuff, like the kind of hard rock or like poppier stuff. Perfect. It's their best music. Um, yeah, Sabotage is incredible. I love it so much. Um, I'm gonna put it in this section above. Ooh, I'm gonna put it above Angels of Light. Yeah. Um, just I think it's their best. I think it doesn't. I think their music doesn't get much better than this. Especially like this album has "Symptom of the Universe," "Hole in the Sky," "Megalomania," "The Writ," and other songs that I'm not remembering. um, just it's their peak. And also, yeah, shout out 25 Cent Man for getting it first try. Um, they do have three perfect albums for me. They are like for as rote as it is to say, like they are just kind of they made metal and they did it the best. So I've got that, I've got Paranoid, and I've got Master of Reality, all of which are pretty in a tight race for number one. But I think Sabotage is my favorite. All right, time for something a little embarrassing. But if you watched my favorite albums of every year video, you already know. Ice Dancer. Not, yes, Ice Dancer by Blade. I don't know how to like properly convey why I like it, especially because it is so like kind of it's embarrassing like it, but that is it. It is conscious of what it is, and it's doing what it's doing so well. And I think this is the best project he's ever made. It's just so tight, and I don't know. I talked about it more, probably more concisely and better in my video that I mentioned on my birthday. Um, yeah, I am gonna put it in the middle section. I'm gonna put it above Can't Maintain, below Lux. Yeah, I do. Yeah, Ice Dancer is his best full length. Does he have? Because he has great EPs. Are there any EPs that I would put even close? Or not EPs? Does he have? No, he doesn't have any EPs. What am I talking about? He just has a bunch of individual like one-off singles. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna hold off on Blade for a little bit. I'll let my credibility go back up with Blut aus Nord. Insane avant-garde black metal band. I had an album from them pretty high on my, was it 2023? Yeah, I had a Disharmonium Nahab on my 2023 one, and I think I had their other Disharmonium one on my 2022 one as well. But Nahab, up there for maybe my favorite black metal album ever. Like it's just like it's Bloodborne metal, and Bloodborne is like maybe my favorite black metal. What am I saying? I got distracted reading the chat and kind of like fell out of it. Anyways. Oh, now I'm stuck back talking about Bladee because people are Blade. Crest is good, and Lua, of course, you would talk about Crest being your favorite, but yeah, for me it's Ice Dancer. Anyways, Disharmonium Nahab, one of the best black metal albums ever. Really Bloodborne, like super Bloodborne metal. Bloodborne is like my favorite game, up there at least, and yeah, it just evokes that so perfectly. Let's go for one of my favorite black metal albums ever, if not my favorite. Ooh, I feel really. The ranking is already hard, and we have like 20 albums on the list. Okay, let's put it here. Let's see what they're saying. Oh man, we're still talking about Blade. I'm never gonna outlive this. All right, I'm gonna try and speed it up. Bomb the music industry. Plenty of amazing albums. Obviously, I love all of Jeff's stuff. I think Goodbye Cool World is a close second for me, and Shambles is tied with it as well. But Adults, their EP, the best punk album. I mean, mini album, but still. Probably the best punk album. And I'm going to put it right up. Oh, my cat is here, my roommate's cat. Say hi to Winslow. But you gotta go, buddy. Don't hurt me. Hang on one sec. I need to let him out. Check out Bungie. She's kissing my face. She's so good. Look at the camera. It's Bungie. Do you want to go back to bed? There you go. That's Winslow and Bungie. There's also another cat, but he's not in the room right now. All right. Where were we? Okay, so yeah. Adults bomb the music industry. Incredible. There's not, like, I talked. There's going to be a lot that I don't need to repeat because I already talked about it, but this is just the best songwriting. It's super tight. There is not a second of fat on this whole thing. I love it so much. It is probably my favorite Jeff project. Okay, moving on. Boredoms. Vision Creation New Sun. I don't know how to talk about this album because really all I can say about this album is to look at its album cover and then just imagine what that would sound like if it was music with like a lot of crazy drums. And that's it. It sounds exactly like that, and it sounds perfect. I love it so much. I'm going to put it just here, just above Black Country New Road. Okay, speeding it up. Boris. People were wondering. Brosi. Wow. Boris. What do you guys think my favorite Boris album is? I saw some people guessing. But I'm curious what people are going to guess now. Boris Johnson is the fucking cunt. Cool. Brosi. All right, we've got some guesses for. We've got all guesses for Flood. There is the guess for the one with Merzbow. And so, oh hey Quinn. Oh yeah, shout out Dazey and the Scouts Maggot. I don't remember when I talked about that, but that is also, we'll be talking about that very soon. So everyone was guessing Flood, and you are right, but I am debating whether I include live albums on this chart, because if I do, then Flood is not my favorite. It is the one with Merzbow, Rock Dream. So what do you guys think? Should I be doing just studio releases, or should live albums count as well? Because It's so good. Like, it is all of their best material except for Flood, which wouldn't have worked in that context anyways. Just played the best. Include live albums? Let's do it. Rock Dream. Rock Dream. And if that's the case, that's going right up. It's going to stay below everything else here, but that's going right up at the top. That is going to be sticking around. All right, another one to guess. I'm sorry all of these are like super easy to guess, but what's my favorite David Bowie album? There's a lot to choose from, and they're all very good, but there is one that stands out right at the top for me, and I am curious if you guys can guess it. If you're looking at my Rate Your Music, don't guess, by the way. Flood Live is also a masterpiece. Untitled, there is no good entry point for The Armed, because all their albums sound different. But The Armed, like, the Untitled is their best album. Black Star, Station to Station, Black Star, Station to Station. Yep. It's Station to Station. It's just like Black Star is amazing and probably also as good, but for me Station to Station is just like so incredible. Like, it's doing so many interesting things, and especially for like this era for him. Obviously, like, him as a person in this era was not the best, but the dedication he had to making this album the way he wanted really, really pays off in just about every aspect. I'm going to put it here. No, I'm gonna put it higher, actually. I'm gonna put it above Can't Maintain. Yeah, that feels right to me. All right, there's only 2 albums, so I'm not gonna make you guess. Brave Little Abacus. Both albums are basically perfect, but for me, I'm a little more basic. I think Just Got Back from the Discomfort, one of the best emo albums ever. I'm gonna put it lower because it will probably get higher over time, but I go too long between listens that I don't like kind of check up on my takes on it. So this is where I'm gonna put it high here, though. I'm gonna put it above Animal Collective. You don't know this one? You gotta. Just Got Back from the Discomfort and Masked Dancers. Both incredible. All right. Ooh, hang on, actually. Get rid of this. Because if we are going with live albums included, then I am going to go with their last show at the Vic Geary Center. And in that case, that's going right up. That's going right up here. Am I an Orchid fan? You'll just have to find out. Actually, no, I'm just going to spoil it right here. I saw Orchid twice this year. And both of which are among the greatest shows I have ever been to. One of them was a secret show at like a 120 capacity venue, and I was like right up the front, and it is the most intense crowd I have ever been in where it didn't stop being fun. Because a lot of the time you'll go into a crowd and it's going to be super intense and you just become miserable. This was intense, but it was only intense for like 20 minutes, so it was fun the entire time. And then the other time I was on the balcony of like a gymnasium, and it was just as good. So yeah, go to if Orchid keeps playing, which I hope they do, you gotta go see them. All right, kind of a basic white girl pick, but Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers is not gonna stay high because I have kind of not soured. It's just like not as important to my life right now, but there was a time, especially in like 2021, late 2021, where this was like so important to me. So I'm gonna put it in the lower section. I'm gonna put it around the same place as 100 Gex. because I'm in a similar position where it was like there was a time where this was my favorite album and it's not there anymore, but it's still great. So I'm gonna put it in the same spot as that. All right. Moving on to. No, okay. Sorry. Burial. So, Untrue. Amazing. Amazing, amazing album. Perfect, like, dubstep, whatever. But for me, I'm going to go with the Kindred EP. Kindred EP is the best thing Burial has done, in my opinion. It's shorter, but it's still, like, basically album length. It's, like, 30 minutes long, and every song is just perfect. Just the best garage, kind of future-y garage music out there. You gotta listen to it. If you've only heard Untrue, then this is like the next stop. You have to listen to it. How did I just pronounce burial? What do you want me to say? Burial? What? How do you pronounce burial? I skipped Boards of Canada because I don't actually have a Boards of Canada 10 because I need to listen to... I'm pretty sure GeoGaddy will be up here next year when I remake my Topster, but I haven't listened to it in like 5 years. So, yeah. Let me see what other people are saying. What's longer your favorite? Yeah, people are talking about Punisher. Burial? Yeah, I guess so. Sorry, I need to put my phone on silent. Oh, actually, hang on. Let me just pause things real quick because I need to make a purchase before it goes out of stock. Because I'm in a group that makes bootleg video game soundtracks on vinyl, and they just press Super Mario Bros. 3. So let me let me real quick just put this stream on hold and do this real quick. You guys can keep talking, obviously, in the chat. I'm just gonna be... I might even go... Just in case, I'm going to turn off my camera for a second. All right, let me set this back up. All right, we're back. I got it. I can't send a link to it because it's like super, like I can't be. You're not allowed to share the buy links outside of the group. It's a Facebook group, but yes, I just got the Mario 3 soundtrack on vinyl. Okay, let's go. Move on to. I think I'm not going to include soundtracks. I have a lot of soundtracks as like 5 stars, and if we were going to include soundtracks, probably Silent Hill 2 would be right up there. Red Dead Redemption 2, Celeste, House, the 1977 J-horror movie. I think I'm not going to include them just to keep my list as slim as possible. But I bring that up because I could put the Minecraft soundtrack on here. But I'm going to be not doing that. Instead, let's move on to an album that is very much Boundocore. I think I am, if not the only one, then one of the only ones to ever talk about it on YouTube. Ruby Rose by Coca-Cola. This is the best mashup album. I made a whole video about mashups. What's my favorite theme from Super Mario Bros. 3? Don't don't distract me like this. I don't remember. I would have to check again. But yeah, Coca-Cola, Ruby Rose. This is going also pretty high up. I'm probably gonna put it here. In fact, actually, looking at this again, I'm gonna put Black Dresses above Autechre as well, and that feels a little better. Hello, hey Emily. I don't believe it. You're gay? No. No, this can't be true. All right, keeping it moving. Candlemass. Back on kind of doom metal-y stuff. Epicus Doomicus. Is that how it? Yeah, Epicus Doomicus Metallicus. Cheesiest name, fits with the cheesiest vocals ever, but the riffs and the songwriting on this thing are so solid. They are just peak classic heavy metal. I'm gonna put it in the lower section for now, but it's going right to the top of that section. And then we'll go further from this year. Critterland. You heard me talk about this. I forget if this was my number. This was my number 5 of the year, I believe. And it's probably my favorite country album. Maybe. Like, it's really ridiculously good. If it's in this segment, it's at the top, or it's at the bottom of this segment. And I'm not sure which. For now, I'm going to put it at the top of this segment. Just the best gay cowboy to ever do it, and such a nice guy live as well. See him if you can, because he's playing like a bunch of like bars. I saw him at like a random punk dive bar in my hometown, and it was fantastic. So yeah, now Charlie XCX. There would be some question about this if I hadn't made the video of my favorite albums from every year, but I made that so people know. Pop 2, favorite Charlie album. This is when I became a fan of her, and it is still my favorite. It's still just so adventurous, even to this day. Like, for as much as hyperpop kind of changed, and got more intense and difficult, I think there's something so unique about this record to this day. Not to mention, it just has her best songs. It's got Backseat, it's got track 10, it's got Tears. The features on it are basically all amazing. I love this a lot. How I'm Feeling Now is close. How I'm Feeling Now is basically tied, but I think Pop 2 beats it for me, and I am going to put it above Ruby Rose, below Backwash. Lavender Country is the second best queer country album. Lavender Country is so good, and if you haven't heard it, you have to. All right. I'm glad you're here, Emily, because this is actually going to be really difficult. Oh, get all this Lacuna Coil out of here. How do I... No. Okay, what... Ignoring all this, what do you think my favorite Coil album is going to be? Because I actually don't know. I have to decide on the spot right here. Because the contenders are Ape of Naples, Moon's Milk in 4 Phases, and both Music to Play in the Darks. So I have 4 that are tied at the top. Horse Rotivator is close too, but I still prefer those 4. I haven't heard Ambulance Died in His Arms yet. I've been saving that for last. Ape of Naples is obviously the perfect send-off. As perfect. I would say it is up there as the perfect send-off alongside, like, Black Star. But I really love Music to Play in the Dark. Time Machines is always also peak. I have that on vinyl, and it sounds fantastic. Music to Play. I think this is where I'm going with it. I think I'm going to put this up here, and I think I'm going to put it above Tech or below Black Dresses. That's where I think I'm at. Later, I might swap it for Ape of Naples. It's really hard. Let's Get You Into Coil video is going to get here eventually. They just have so much material. It's been such a slow process because I can't just listen to every album once to write about it. So I have to listen to like 50 records at least twice, if not more. So the video is coming. The Swans video was the longest for me, but it was fine because I had already like listened to all of those way before I even started my channel. So it's going to be difficult for Coil because I only got into Coil like 2 years ago. Volume 1 over Volume 2. They're both perfect. But yeah, I think Volume 1 over 2 for me. Alright, Converge, Jane Doe. I'm not going to make a secret out of it. Jane Doe is perfect. It's not like... I wish it... Like, there are a lot of people who... sometimes you want to suggest, like, absurd artists. Rail 'em. Wow. Send them off in the chat. I want to see what suggestions you have for Let's Get You Into's. But anyways, Jane Doe doesn't necessarily mean anything to me personally. Like, I know for a lot of people this is a very personal, emotional album. The Residents would be fun. But for me, like, even though it doesn't do that much for me personally, it is still just a perfect metalcore album. One of the best breakup albums ever made. I am going to keep it in this bottom section, but I'm going to put it here. Below the first Animal Collective. All right, another one from last year. Prison does it. Accelero. This is getting tough because I adore this record, but I don't know if it's going to stand alongside the stuff in this section, so I think I think I have to keep it in the lower section. Let's Get You Into Miles Davis. Let's Get You Into Bull of Heaven. I'm actually going to talk about Bull of Heaven in, if not my next video, then the video after. So stay tuned for that. It's also going to be my best video. Let's Get You Into Octa. No. This one, it's not going to stick around with this stuff, so I'm going to put it down here. It's better than the Audrey album for me. I like it more than Jane Doe and the Animal Collective, but not Punisher, I think. Oh yeah, I talked about the Cardiac. I was talking about the Cardiacs earlier too. I've been meaning. I think this year I'm going to be going through their discography anyways. I talked about Sing to God in another video. But yeah, I am. I'm gonna go through the Cardiac's discography, and if I listen to it and I think there is like material for Let's Get You Into, I will absolutely do that. Let's Get You Into Viper might not be on the table anymore. How's the list going? See for yourself. Looking good so far? Cool. Cryptopsy. None So Vile. Top 3, maybe top 1 death metal of all time. top three death metal album of all time. Just ridiculously brutal. Just absurd riffing, absurd vocals. Lord Worm as a vocalist is nuts. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it. It's gonna go. I like it more than this. Here, let's put it below the Brave Little Abacus live album, but above Can't Maintain. Okay. The Cure. Also, sorry, I forgot that I can't say just Cardiacs. Let's get you into Lil B. Good lord. Oh. Okay. The Cure, I talked about this already, at least on the podcast modulation, which it should be in the description if you haven't listened to it. Go save it. We talk a lot about fun albums, and our album of the year video episode is coming soon. But I mentioned it there. Pornography is my favorite Cure album. It is just like, it's so dark and it is so oppressive and it's so tight. My main issue with like Disintegration is almost perfect for me, but I don't even think there are bad songs or songs I would cut on it, but there's something like it's a little too long. Where Pornography, incredible, just perfect front to back. And I'm gonna put it under Coil above Autechre for now. And then I think we don't have that many hip-hop albums on here yet, but Dalek. I need to re-listen to Absence, because I remember it being my favorite, but I haven't heard it in a long time. But I re-listened to From Filthy Tongues of Gods and Griots. This album is fucking peak. This is incredible. Every industrial hip-hop artist basically owes their career to this album, I think. I am going to put it... I'm going to leave it right here. I think it's above all the albums down here, but I don't think I would have it higher than any of this stuff right now. Yeah, the jump from Faith to Pornography is nuts. Like, ridiculous. Let's get you into Arca. Maybe. I love a lot of her stuff, but, like, I haven't done a lot of thinking about her discography as a whole. Let's go Miles Davis. I spoiled this a little bit in my Album of the Year video. I'll see if any of you can remember, but what do you guys think my favorite Miles Davis album will be? What's the album second on the Topster? This is Adults by Bomb the Music Industry. Oh yeah, Distorted Prose, I remember that. Wesley Willis. That name sounds familiar, but who is that? Let me look that up real quick. I don't think I know this guy. Huh. I've added him to the list of stuff to check out. You know this one? Yeah. That crazy one from the 70s. Okay, yeah, you guys do remember. Get Up With It is my favorite jazz album ever. Probably. We'll see if I'm forgetting anything later, but yeah. Get Up With It is favorite jazz album of all time. Just incredible. I'm going to put it up pretty high. Oh, do I like it more than Music to Play in the Dark? Because it's either between these two or between these two. And I think it's between these two. I think. When you're talking about Boris. Yeah, make the Let's Get You Into Boris video yourself. But yeah, no, this is one of the most ridiculous feats of musicianship ever. The dude, like, there's the track Rated X, which I talked about in my Album of the Year video, that invented Aphex Twin when the real Aphex Twin was barely born. There's also just, like, one of the first ambient tracks ever is on this album as well. And then just like everything else is the best, most insane jazz music ever. Yeah, Emily, I know, knowing even just a little bit about your taste in music, I think Get Up With It, you're gonna love this album. So check this one out. The other contender for favorite Miles Davis for me is In a Silent Way, which is also almost proto ambient. So that one is also super worth checking out if you haven't already. All right, someone mentioned this album earlier. Maggot by Dazey and the Scouts. Just super fun, like queercore, hardcore, pop punk. There is not a lot to say about it because it's super short and I talked about it already. But I love it a lot. It's also like, what, 20 minutes? Let me see. 25 minutes. There's not a single ounce of fat on this thing. Utterly flawless. And it means a fair bit to me. I'm gonna put it at the top. Ooh. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of this section, I think. Yeah, that seems right to me. And then, staying on punk, Dead Kennedys. I love Fresh Fruit, but Plastic Surgery Disasters is unmatched. Man, it is so fun. It has their best songs. It is just so good. Just incredible. I have not put Dummy on there yet, but some of you already know where it's going when I do. Plastic Surgery Disasters is going in this section. And I'm going to put it above... Am I going to put it above Cryptopsy? No. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it above Can't Maintain. But speaking of Cryptopsy and death metal... Nope, I have to be more specific than that. Symbolic. It's peak. You know? Death arguably invented death metal and then also just made it the best. Is Plastic Surgery... It's never been off streaming in Canada. Oh, it's off streaming in the UK. Damn. Wait. Hang on. I gotta check this. Plastic Surgery No, it's still here. At least in Canada, it's as a compilation with In God We Trust. So, at least in Canada, we're safe. Individual Thought Patterns better. Individual Thought Patterns is gonna get a re-listen. Because it is... I remember really loving it and then never listening to it again, and that was like 6 years ago. So I'm gonna keep Death Symbolic. I'm gonna leave it here. It's definitely in the top tier, but it's not gonna like blow everything else out of the water. Let's go. Death's Dynamic Shroud. One of the best bands currently making music. And I'm gonna go with Dark Life. And I'm going to put it in the bottom, but I'm going to put it at the top of the bottom. Because this album is incredible. Peak music jump scare, yeah. Yeah, so this album, 2022, incredible. Oh, I'll Try Living Like This is great, but I still, like, more traditional vaporwave still hasn't fully clicked with me as much. I always prefer Death's Dynamic Shroud when they're doing stuff kind of more out there and out of their original comfort zone of vaporwave, but I'm gonna re-listen to I'll Try Living Like This. I have it on my list of like stuff that I need to re-listen to this year, along with some other stuff I've mentioned already. Yeah, I got Dark Life on vinyl. Um, Also, Midnight Tangerine, this one, listen to that if you haven't. That's a runner-up for their best, I think. Okay, keep going. Death Cab for Cutie. I'm Typo City up here. Transatlanticism. Emo is like a little bit. It's more indie rock than emo, but like, man, this album's fucking good, dude. And especially, my partner and I a couple of years ago went to New York City and saw them play this live and another album that we'll be talking about soon. We saw it live at Madison Square Garden in full, and probably the best stadium show I've ever been to. Like, unbelievably good. I'm gonna put it in this section. I'm gonna put it above Critterland though. It's going right up at the top. Staying on the death section. Death Grips. Oh, I can't show that on YouTube. Whoops. Guess my favorite Death Grips album. Also, Transatlanticism is in my top 10 of 2003, but it's not like up at the top. 2003 is the best album. 2003 is the best year for album releases maybe ever. So, yeah. Lots of guesses happening. Powers That Be. A lot of people are guessing Powers That Be, some Jenny Death, Year of the Smith, Ex-Military. I am a No Love enjoyer. No Love is like maybe my number 2, but someone got it. Bottomless Pit. I think it is just like, even if it's not quite as adventurous per se as some of their other stuff, like it's not as experimental, every song perfect. Every song is firing on all cylinders and is just completely flawless to me. So, Bottomless Pit is their number 1 in my mind, and I'm gonna put it above Bloom, below. I'm gonna put it above Critterland, but I'm gonna keep it below Transatlanticism. 1997's a good year. I might have to do another stream where I'm just like ranking years for music. That would be fun. All right. Oh, hang on. Let me get this off my screen, and then, oh boy, here we go. What have I done? Okay, here. I just need to get this image off my screen. What's next? Okay, this one's probably not gonna make the, oh my god. I can't get this off my screen. Okay, go away. Okay. Let's try this again. Stream full monitor view. It wouldn't let me do just the window. I tried. Alright, so the Deep Fade album from this year. Harry, I'm curious what you think of this. You haven't talked to me about it yet, but we'll do that on the modulation episode. Incredible record. It's probably not going to make the full list, but it's just one of the best drone noise albums I've ever heard. Just so beautiful. Watch my end of year video if you want to hear more about it. It's one of the best. Deft Ones. It's White Pony, and it's probably not going to make the whole list. But it's great. It's really good. I'm probably going to put it here, below Virginia Astley, above Audrey. Wood Velocity, that's a great question. You'll just have to wait and see. We are only on page 3 of 11. in on this. This might end up being broken into 2 streams. Let me speed this way up. This one's short. This one's a short one. Disco Inferno. Any of you guys know this band? Because if you don't, you should listen to Summer's Last Sound, which is just incredibly beautiful post-rock. Disco Inferno is a really, really interesting band. They started as like... They started as like kind of just almost generic post-punk, but they got really experimental and like psychedelic with it after a while. And Summer's Last Sound is, I think, the best thing they ever did. It's only 12 minutes long, but it is the best 12 minutes of music I think you can hear. This is on the 5 EPs comp, Harry. Yeah, so this is incredible. It's probably gonna go... It's gonna go down here. Here. Oh boy, what have I... Oh, wait. No! I hate this site. Ugh. Good lord. Ugh. Okay. Oh yeah, Jordan Mason will be discussed shortly. And by shortly, I mean maybe not even today. Okay, La Dispute. I talked about this one before. Wildlife is going right up to Boundocore. You can drag the white square? No, you can't. Not on Topsters 3. Okay, La Dispute, Wildlife. The best emo album? Maybe? Just ridiculously good post-hardcore with a really, really evocative theme and such good writing. It has the best 3-track run on an album. Like the run from King Park and then Edward Ben's 27 Times and then I See Everything is the best 3 songs on an album back to back. And the rest is just as good. So I'm gonna go pretty high with this. I'm gonna go really high with this, actually. I'm gonna put it all the way up here. That's where I'm feeling. All right, and one that's gonna go probably pretty low, but is no less perfect. DJ Shadow introducing. Doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot to me, but is just perfect instrumental hip hop, as good as it gets. And I'm gonna put that above The Armed. Black Parade is favorite emo album. That's fair. That's not even my favorite My Chemical Romance album, but we'll see if my favorite My Chemical Romance album makes it on here. Ooh. Hopefully I can put some of you on to this next album, because it is... Oh, it is easily one of my favorite rap albums ever. The Doc. No one can do it better. This is the best album, the best rap album of the 80s. And I don't know how close it even is. Like, it is ridiculously good. The Dr. Dre production is absurd. The rapping, the lyrics are incredible. The flow and delivery is second to none. And it is such a tragedy that he released this album and then got in a car accident that like completely destroyed his vocal cords. So he basically was like never able to rap again, but then he made a second album and it is one of the worst things I've ever heard. It's so sad, but yeah, this is an easy recommendation to absolutely everyone in here. All right. Oh yeah, there was a song in it. Whirlwind Pyramid was in Tony Hawk's Underground too. That's right. Yeah, okay. This is gonna go... Ooh, I feel a little weird about how low Drux is going. But that's, I guess that's okay. I'm gonna put it above At the Drive-In, below Drux. Paul's Boutique. Paul's Boutique is great. I'm just saying, have you listened to this album by the Doc? Because if you haven't, I don't know if you can talk yet. Where's Worry? Worry starts... Jeff Rosenstock is alphabetically starting with R, and we're still on D. This is gonna be a... this is gonna be a problem, maybe. Okay. Let's go... Nick Drake Pink Moon, which is going right up top. Pink Moon is so simple, and yet every single second of it is the most beautiful folk music that exists in this world. Like, it is completely unmatched in every regard. Like, it's just, like, music doesn't get much better than this, I think. And it's going up, 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 up. Ooh, am I? How far up? I'm putting it right behind Wildlife. I'm putting it right behind Wildlife. This album never has and never will grow off me. There is not much music that is better than this. Let's go with one that I haven't listened to enough to firmly say it'll go in the Topster, but I do love it a lot. Yank Crime by Drive Like Yahoo. Just fantastic post-hardcore, fantastic math rock, fantastic noisy punk music. I need to listen to this one more before I can, like, maybe by next year it'll be on the list proper. For right now, I'm gonna put it pretty low. I'm gonna put it above. I'm gonna put it here. I gotta listen to this one again, because every time I have listened to it, I love it a lot, and then I go too long without listening to it, and I kind of forget it. So hold me to this. When I do this stream again next year, make sure I put Yank Crime on the list itself. All right? Okay. What do you guys think? Bob Dylan. Because I'm not sure what my favorite Bob Dylan album is. Because there's a lot of good stuff. He has 3 10s for me, and I'm not going to tell you what any of them are yet. But I'm curious, what kind of Bob Dylan fan do you expect me to be? You love his work in Dune and Dune 2? Freewheeling's a good one. Highway 61 is a really good one. Yeah, we're only doing one per artist to keep it moving. All right. So my favorite, I think, so the 3 that it's between for me are Blood on the Tracks, which has been said, Bringing It All Back Home, and Desire. And I think it might be Desire. But I'm not sure. Bring It All Back Home is the one that's been my favorite for the longest. Oh. Is it Desire or is it Blood on the Tracks? Desire is the cooler pick. And it's also, I think Desire is the one that's more personal to me. I don't think he has a better song than Hurricane. Even though even I can't sing that one. But yeah, I'm going to go with Desire. I'm going to put it above Sabotage. Bring It All Back Home is the best. It's perfect. But Bob Dylan is one of the greatest writers and greatest songwriters of all time. So having an album being perfect isn't necessarily even enough to make it hit the list for me. I'm starting to lose my voice. I need to drink more water. I don't know how those streamers who stream 8 hours a day do it. I struggle to talk for this long. Okay. Here's a fun one that if you haven't heard, you must. Earth. Oh. Wind and... Holy moly. Wind and Fire. Where is it? All in All. This is going right up here. The best funk album ever, maybe. Like, every second of this is the peak of musicianship. It does not get basically any better than this. The vocals are on point. The guitar lines are ridiculous. Every arrangement is so lush and so beautiful and so much fun. This is just the best. Like I keep saying this for everything, and it's because every album on here is perfect to me for some reason or another. But like, this is like, oh, I threw it away. This is like close to as good as music can ever be. And so I am gonna put it. Ooh, am I gonna put it over? No, I'm not gonna put it over Miles Davis. I'm gonna put it over The Cure. And then we'll move on. I was not talking about the metal band Earth, but I'm going to talk about a metal band now, Edge of Sanity, with their album Crimson, which is it's not an Opeth album, but it is my favorite Opeth album. Just another like single track. There might end up being more than two even single track metal albums on this list. But yeah, this is just the peak of kind of progressive melodic death metal, and it's almost sad to me that I don't think Opeth ever reached the heights of this, considering this is very clearly like a pretty direct inspiration and lineage to them. But yeah, I love this album a lot. I think I love it even more than the Candlemass album, but not quite as much as Dark Life, so I'm going to put it right at the top of this section. And let's move on with an album from this past year. Here you go, Harry. Elucid with Revelator, which I don't remember exactly where I put this on my list, but it's fucking good. This is... No, I don't want to put it down here. This is one of the most challenging and difficult rap albums ever made. And it is better for it at every turn. And I'm going to put it probably... I'm going to put it at the bottom of this section. It's still probably going to make the Topster, but it's going to go towards the bottom, I think. Yeah, alright. Here's one that I have 4 10s from. Brian Eno. And if I really think about it, I might even have 5 10s from. How do we think I'm gonna land on Brian Eno? Because obviously, like, pretty handily one of the best musicians to ever live. Like, musicians don't often get to put out as much music as Eno does and have them be as consistent in quality as this. And to have albums that stand out so high above is absurd. So yeah. And the other thing with Eno is like there are two types of Eno. There's like rock music Eno and there's ambient music Eno. And I think I'm still gonna stick to one per artist, but it's really, really tempting to do like one of each. But I think it wasn't in his piss era. What does that mean? I think, and I've talked about this album before, I really, really love Here Come the Warm Jets. I think this is going all the way up here. This is where I'm going with it. It's his, like, it's glam rock Eno, but it's like way more experimental than it has any right being. His best songwriting on like this level, on his song, on his, wow, I'm starting to lose it. His best songwriting in his rock mode, and it's just so good. I'm gonna go here. I'm not gonna put it way too high in the top section, but what do you think the Warm Jets were? God damn it. I hate you. Ooh, this one's gonna be fun for Harry. I don't know if I'm gonna end up putting it high on the Topster, but everyone asked about you. Beautiful twee pop Midwest emo. I don't listen to this one nearly as much as I want to. I always forget it exists. Is it even on streaming? Is that why I never remember it? No, it is on streaming. I don't know why I don't listen to this as much. But absolutely incredible. It's going to be in the top half of this section, probably around Virginia Astley. I feel so bad every time I look at this chat and I say an album is like, I don't listen to it that much, and both Baghead and Hi Hi are both like, peak, 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 oh my god, and then I put it at like the bottom. Oh, anyways. Any Fela Kuti fans in the chat? Does anyone know his stuff well enough to guess what I'm gonna put here? Because he is peak. Oh, I have heard of the Goslings. They might come up soon, let's just say. Is anyone big enough into Fela Kuti to know what they're talking about and guess what my favorite from him is? Because I have heard a lot of it, and it's all basically perfect. No, there is Bowie, Emily. Station to Station's right here. Maybe just listen to chat instead of your own opinions. Unknown Soldier and Expensive Shit are both incredible. But I think Rofo Fight is my favorite. And I'm going to put it right here. Rofo Fight is longer than usual. But every song is just perfect. Like, I guess it's the same length as Zombie, which is also almost there. But Rofo Fight is just peak from front to back. Like, the title track, Trouble Sleep, Go Slow, and there was one more that I'm forgetting. All of them, the best music ever made. Point blank, period. Fela, I'm even gonna put this up. Fuck it. Oh, why did I do this? I should have just stuck with it. I'm putting it up there with Death and Dazey and the Scouts. God, I hate Topsters 3. I like it in general more than Topsters 2 because you can do like games and books and movies and stuff, but it's a little obnoxious sometimes. All right, this one, my newest addition to my 10s. I had heard this before, but I gave this a 10 for the first time last night. FKA Twigs Melissex. is one of the best art pop pieces of music ever. It's so so good. It's so noisy, it's so jarring, it's so chaotic, but it's so what have I done? Oh my god. Hang on. My Chrome just crashed. I really hope that all saved. Yes, it's saved. All right, we're back. Here we go. That was scary. I was certain we were about to lose it. Um Yeah. What was I saying? FKA Twigs Melissex. So good. I don't remember anything I just said about it, but her vocals, her songwriting, it's also tight. It's such a neatly arranged, beautiful mess of a project that, like, I listened to it like 3 times last night and never got bored of it. Sabbath is right here. It's Sabotage. So I'm going to put Melissex pretty high in this section. Above Dead Kennedys, below Cryptopsy. What's the album below Fiona Apple? That's Autechre LP5. Alright, moving on from there. Ooh. Aretha Franklin. Another artist with several perfect records, in my opinion. And I don't have a clear winner in my head for this. Oh, this is so hard. Because I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You is the first one I heard. It was my first favorite, and it is still perfect. Aretha now has her biggest songs. And where is it? Spirit in the Dark is probably her most consistent front to back. But you know what? Oh. This is so tough. No. Amazing Grace, the live album. I found this for like $5 when I went to New York on vinyl, and it's so good. Aretha Franklin is one of the greatest vocalists ever, and I love the gospel stuff on here. I love how just emotionally resonant it is and how spiritually healing it feels to listen to. I'm going to put this right up here. You pointed out the one behind The Cure. What? No. You're being silly. You're messing with me. All right. Ooh. This is one that I'm sure if you are into, like, rap music you've heard, but if you haven't, Gangstar. Moment of Truth. Easily one of my favorite 90s rap albums. The title track, what are the other big songs on this? Know My Steez, Moment of Truth, Above the Clouds, that's the other one that's like could be the best song ever made. And I'm going to stick it, I think I like it a little less than the Doc album, but I think that's mostly just because the Doc album feels more like my album because no one seems to have heard it. I'm going to put it above Sabotage, below Desire, I think. And then another album from this year that's probably not going to make the whole list, The Arsonist with And They Mine for Our Bodies, which I hope some of you listen to this because it's really ridiculously good. Super brick-walled, like noisy production that like makes the vocals almost unintelligible, but it puts you in this really fascinating headspace. And despite not being able to tell what he's saying, the vocal hooks are absurd all over this thing. So I'm gonna put it down here around. Oh, whoops. I'm gonna put it above White Pony. No, I killed White Pony. There. Oh. Not Marvin Gaye time, but it's gas time with this pop album, which if you watched my Ambient video, I talked extremely highly of this album. Our Bones Are Artifacts. I do need to listen to that. I completely forgot to after the end of the year. Like, end of the year video prep was so chaotic, and I forgot to listen to anything I like marked to listen to during that time. Gas is probably, it's one of the best ambient albums ever, but it doesn't have nearly as much replay value as I like to hope from ambient records for me, and I don't know why. Like, I don't really know what the reason for that is, but I will say my first listen to this album is one of the most memorable experiences I've had with music in my life. So it's still going in this section. I'm probably gonna put it right. I'm just gonna put it right here, and then I wish Fully Automatic from the Jacob Geller Discord was in the chat right now, because they would be popping off at this pick. The Gathering with Souvenirs. This is Boundo Core, and it's probably not like super high up Boundo Core. It's like here Boundo Core. This is a previously like a gothic doom metal band gone trip hop, and it's incredible. It sounds so good. And honestly, it's one of those albums that that sounds almost better on a worse sound system. Like, it sounds great on great speakers, but it sounds perfectly designed for every range of audio equipment, which is something I don't feel like I hear very often. I love this album so much, and there is not a lot I can say about it beyond. Which commander would I don't play Magic the Gathering, I'm sorry. No, listen to the track Broken Glass off of this thing. And if it hooks you, you have to listen to the whole record. I'm going to put it even above. Oh, maybe I am going to move it up. This is where I want it. This is where I'm going to go. See you on Common Denomination. Designed to be played on a Dreamcast CD player. That's so real. All right, here's one. Lisa Germano with Geek the Girl. Heartbreaking. Just soul-crushing slowcore album, which I talked about in the last, I think, Mucore video. Breaks my heart every time I listen to it. I'm going to put it quite high. I'm going to put it over. This is where I want it, I think right with Bloom and Drux. So there's that. Here's one that only Hi liked and Hi didn't. Only Hi listened to and Hi didn't like it, but that's because Hi hates anything prog. So I'm gonna go with this Turkish prog folk album, Gevende, with, how do I pronounce this? Sen Balik Degilsinki. And I'm gonna put it up. This is, how do I describe it? Like, I already described it as like Turkish folk prog, but it's a lot more than that. It's really like really psychedelic and really like really twisty and rhythmic. I love the way that the bass sounds on this record and the way it intertwines with the drums. And the more folksy instrumentation is beautiful. Do you have an album that everyone you show doesn't like it, but you love it? I only show people albums if I think they're gonna like them, usually. So I don't actually have any examples for this. If I can think of one, I will say it. But no, usually if I don't think someone's gonna like an album, I just won't even mention it. This was actually the closest to that because I thought Hi Hi was gonna like it, and he did not. Yeah, I found this through YouTube recommendations, by the way, and it's incredible. And I'm gonna throw it right up with. Yeah, that sounds right to me. And then Lives Outgrown. Wow, I am failing. Outgrown by Beth Gibbons. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful record. I talked about it at length on the Modulation podcast and also on my year-end list. Plays with time really beautifully. And I'm going to throw it here with Jane Doe. All right. We're almost halfway through, and we are 2 hours in. This is gonna take a while. But we're getting into some artists where I've got artists with a lot of stuff, so the list is actually gonna go by a little quicker than expected. Starting with Godspeed. What the fuck is this? Is that Cradle of Filth? Let's go, Godspeed You. Get that off my screen. You know what I'm gonna pick. It's Skinny Fists, and Skinny Fists is going right up here. Almost. What are we saying almost to? The Correspondence. That sounds familiar. Hang on. Correspondence. Oh, it's Electro Swing. Sorry, you lost me on that too. I am pretty good with most genres, but Electro Swing is one that I have not ever been able to stand. Alleluia is fantastic, but BBF3 is not on Alleluia. Slow Riot for New Zero Canada is on there. But yeah, I've talked way too much about this album on here on my channel. You guys know that this is one of my favorite albums of all time. Do I like it more than Vespertine? You know what? Seeing it live, seeing the second track off of this live changed my life. So I'm gonna put it above. Fuck it. New Godspeed is so good. Oh wait, the genre is mislabeled. It's not electro swing. All right, you've got my attention back. You've got my attention back. I will. You know what? I am going to Correspondence. Save this for later, and I will get back to you on this somehow. Okay. Good lord. There's still so much to do. Let's go back to metal. Gorguts. Now, I love Obscura, but I talked about this in a video earlier this year. Colored Sands. Maybe I might even like it more than the Cryptopsy album. And if that's the case, then I gotta put it above the Cryptopsy album. But where do I put it? Have I ever heard Sleep Live? I have Sleep Live on vinyl. It's incredible. Gorguts over Ice Dancer below Lux is where I feel comfy with it. And then, here's a fun one. Harry Gorski Brown. Which I hope some of you listen to this. Dirt Drone Makers After Dreamboats. One of my favorite records from this year. It's gonna maybe make the list. We'll see. I didn't quite... it's gonna be hard maybe if it makes the list because there's still so much to go through. But it's amazing. Disso Death and Disso Black are the best versions of both of those genres. And I like Plastic Beach a lot, and I like Demon Days a lot, and I like songs, what's the blue one from 2020 called? I like that one a lot, but I don't think I'm gonna have any Gorillas, I'm sorry. What I am gonna have, someone mentioned this earlier, the Goslings. This album I heard a couple months ago, and it is absurdly good. Ridiculously good noise rock, kind of like doomgazy like Angelic Process is, but I like this even more because of just how far they push that noise. This is called Grandeur of Hair, and it's gonna stay in this section, but it's gonna go pretty high. And it's gonna go above the dock. I love this album a lot. If you have not heard it, you gotta. Another Bound Core classic incoming, Geis Guevara, who's going right up to the top, right up here with this. I think Geis is probably the most exciting new rapper for me right now. His new album is coming out later this month, and I adore this record. So I am so excited for the new record. It is just so much fun, so much like chaos, but the production and the rapping is just so unbelievably good. People make a lot of comparisons between him and JPEG Mafia, and there is like a little bit of a crossover there for sure, but I don't even think JPEG Mafia could ever make something like this. Listen to it. Yes, Geis is also so funny. Oh, Ludens is here. Hi, Ludens. Alright, let's keep going. A country album for a first time in a little bit. Emmylou Harris with Wrecking Ball, which, despite coming out like pretty late in her career, because she started in what, the 70s? I want to say the late 60s. Oh no, 70s is when she actually like properly started, and this came out 20 years into her career, and it's so good, just so beautiful. I love her voice. It's very clear that she was a very direct influence on Adrian Lenker and Big Thief, and this album is as good as or better than anything that Big Thief did, and Big Thief is one of the best bands ever. So I'm gonna put this above Dark Life. I'm gonna keep it down here for now, but it's amazing. All right, no, not yet. PJ Harvey. I am still kind of a newbie to PJ Harvey's stuff, but I listened to this one for the first time, which is called Stories from the City, Stories from the Sea. And it's the best thing I've heard from her, and it really, really displays to me why she is like such a legendary artist to so many people. All the songwriting is fantastic. It's got this really unique aura around it because of her vocals and the types of instrumentals she's playing with. I need more time with it to really like let it overtake me. So I'm gonna put it pretty low. It might not make the final list, but it's really good. 2000, yeah, 2000. Also maybe the best The best. Oh, my webcam is cutting off the top of the list. So where should I put it? Should I? Because the reason I have it up here is because I look at all this headspace. Where? What if? How do we feel about? And then if I. No, other way. No. Good? Let's go with this. For now. Well, yeah, this seems alright. Attempted Martyr will be here. Okay. On from PJ Harvey and the Von House Wolf. Oh, two S's. Wolf. With Dead Magic. And Von Housewolf was one of the first kind of like more experimental artists I got into when I was starting to get into music in 2018. And this album has stuck with me through thick and thin. It's gonna go lower because I think... I don't know. I don't know what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this should go higher. I'm going to put it... Oh, whoops, I got rid of it. I'm going to put it here. Top of the bottom section. But it's peak. Alright. Now, little short EP here with Heavenly Atta Girl. The best piece of twee pop that exists. Like, I don't think it's even a competition. Let me double check before I, like... Oh... No, I stand by it. This is the best piece of twee pop that exists. It's so short, it is so tight, but within this short amount of time, I think it's like 12 minutes long, but they do so much musically, they do so much narratively, they tell such a compelling, really, really great story that is really emotional in such a short amount of time, and they use the sound of the record to make this really crushing contrast between how the music sounds and what the music is saying. And I don't know, I think it's just a masterpiece, and I'm gonna put it really high. Actually, I'm gonna put it here. I love this thing a lot. Let's do another jazz album with Hiromi. The best... Ooh, can I say this? The best Japanese pianist out there? Because there's Ryo Fukui, who is fantastic, but I think I love this even more than what he's done. So I'm going to say Voice by Hiromi is going at the bottom of this middle section. I think. Oh, thank you for... thank you for reminding me. I did actually skip Imogen Heap by accident because it looks, the album covers look similar to the Heavenly one. Imogen Heap up here. Oh, whoops. Up here. One of the most ahead of its time pop albums, maybe the most ahead of its time pop album ever. Like, I cannot believe, if this came out today, I would be like, how does this exist? The fact that this came out in 2005 is nuts. Like I love Caroline Polachek and whatever, but like Imogen Heap did what she was doing like 15 years prior. Incredible, so good, so good. Yeah, it's good. Ooh, let's get emo with it. With the Hotelier, which is going up in the Boundo Core section because I adore this record. Can't trust anyone from London. Yeah, so this Hotelier record, if the Law Dispute isn't the best emo album of all time, then this is. And I don't know what else to say about it. It's so good. Listen to Your Deep Rest, listen to an introduction to the album, and if you like emo even a little bit, you will love them, and it will be your new favorite thing. I guarantee it. So I'm putting this way up as well, a little bit behind Imogen Heap. Yeah, that's where I'm going. I am really starting to lose my voice. I might have to call it soon. But let's see how far I can get before I really start dying. All right. This one grew on me this past year. Injury reserve by the time I get to Phoenix. I don't know why this didn't click with me before. I knew it was going to have to grow on me, and boy did it, because I listened to this on a plane at night on my way to Vancouver, and unbelievable. I can't believe this exists. There is nothing that sounds like it still, and I think nothing has even tried to sound like it, except for on this Arm & Hammer record they added later, Doves, which is my favorite song ever. Like, the best song ever made. And so anything else that can capture that, which this Injury Reserve does, amazing. I'm going to put this pretty high. I'm going to put this above Angel. I'm going to put this above Sabotage. Yeah. I'm going to put it above Gangstar as well. And that's it. That's where I'm going to put it. All right. Need to keep speeding through this. Iron Maiden with Power Slave. Power Slave is the album that got me into metal, and metal is what got me into music. So I gotta pay tribute to this one. And still to this day, every song holds up incredibly well. Just the best, like, classic style heavy metal record probably ever. So I'm gonna put this, I think it'd be really funny. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put it right next to the Earth, Wind & Fire album that it looks completely identical to. Okay, keep going. Jason Isbell with Southeastern, which is one of the best country albums ever. It's from 2013. It's a little more kind of like a little more singer-songwriter-y, a little more like Americana, more similar to like Bruce Springsteen. But I think this is the peak of that sound, even more than I think any Bruce Springsteen stuff, honestly. So I'm gonna put this. It's gonna go in the lower section, but it's gonna go right next to Emmylou Harris. I think they look good next to each other there. Oh boy, now is one where I don't know where I'm gonna put it. Let me drink a water. Nicholas Jar. Where is Piedras? Here it is. I mean, if you saw my Album of the Year video, I talked about this for 8 minutes straight, which is longer than I've ever talked about a single album in a non-like Let's Get You Into or Mucore video. And I feel like I have not spoken nearly enough about it. Like, there is so much about it that there is to talk about in the like I said earlier, either my next or the video after my next, I'm going to be talking more about it, because there's so many different angles to tackle this thing from, and it does it all perfectly. And again, it is impossible to recommend to any of you, because it is the biggest investment, both in time, like it's incredibly long and demands a lot of you because you have to read a transcript the whole time. But every single second is worth it, and I am going to put this. Oh, oh. Here for now. I think that's what I feel. It might even go higher. It might even go higher. It's unbelievable, unbelievably good. Let me just check something real quick. All right, we're getting through it. Janet Jackson with The Velvet Rope. She's got other fantastic records too, but The Velvet Rope is like the best 90s R&B album probably. Top of my head, I can't even think of anything that's close, really. Nothing Prince did in the 90s was nearly... No, yeah, this is the best. This is the best. Just so incredibly, like, ahead of its time in some fashions and very of its time in others, but every single thing it does, it is doing at such a high level. And I'm keeping this up here, and I'm putting this behind Autechre. Yeah, no, exactly. Like, The Velvet Rope has only been getting more and more acclaim as time goes on, and it's still not getting enough. It's perfect. Like, it doesn't get much more perfect than that. Speaking of pop music that doesn't get much more perfect than this, Carly Rae Jepsen with Emotion. I mean, I just said it. Music, like pop music, doesn't get a lot better than this, especially in like pure radio pop music. And I'm gonna keep it near the bottom of this section, but come on, like, it's there's so little you can even say about it because everyone's heard it and everyone loves it already. So like, I don't know, it's good. And you know what else is good? The Jesus Lizard with Goat. This album, the resolution's low enough that I can show this album cover. One of the best noise rock albums ever. You don't need to listen to Daughters when this album exists and another album I'm going to talk about exists. Like, everything that album did, this album, not everything, but a lot of the stuff that album did, this album did just like almost 30 years earlier. And it's perfect. It's Goat is the GOAT. Doesn't get much better than this in noise rock, so I'm gonna put it above Ice Dancer, below Gorguts. This is also super, all of this is super arbitrary. If you hadn't already picked up on that, I am not paying much attention to the broader scope of things. I'm just going by vibes. Are we gonna have enough room for the whole alphabet? No. The bottom stuff is going to start getting cut off soon. The Forever Story from 2022, which I loved when it came out, but it has only grown on me since. I listen to this still every like month or two, and I love it more every time. One of maybe the best rap album this decade that isn't by Billy Woods. I'd have to think on that. No, the Backwash album. But yeah, no, this is so peak. I'm gonna put it in the middle section. I'm gonna put it here. No, I'm gonna put it above Ice Dancer. All right, moving on. So, oh my God, we're more than halfway. We're getting there. How many albums are on page 11? No, we're gonna get there. Okay. I Love You, Jennifer B. Probably won't make the whole list. but lovely art pop record. I probably at the time there have been times where I like it more than by the not by the time. Answer from up there. Right now is not one of those times, but I'm gonna move it up a little bit. I'm gonna put it above here. I'm gonna put it here. All right. Joy Division. This one's gonna be a little controversial because I love Unknown Pleasures, but I love a lot more Closer, the second record, which I think it's just so much more oppressive, dark and oppressive. Like, Unknown Pleasures is very cold, and it is fantastic for that, but Closer is so much more... It's darker. It's more... I'm running out of words here because I've been talking for so long, but I also think what's really impressive about Closer is how clearly it inspired a band that's a lot higher on this list, Coil. Yeah, Closer, I like it more than Unknown Pleasures, but both are fantastic. Okay. JPEG Mafia... Oh, whoops. JPEG Mafia. LP. Great record. One of the best hip-hop records of the decade so far. His best, I think. And I'm gonna put it here. Judas Priest. Painkiller. The second best classic heavy metal album. Sabotage. No, I like it more than Sabotage. The second best classic heavy metal album ever, and the fact that it came out so late, in the 90s, after heavy metal had kind of given way to thrash metal and black metal and death metal, the fact that we still got one of the best ones ever that late in time is crazy. So I'm gonna put it here. Oh. The Thief Next to Jesus. This one might have to go... No, it's gonna stay down here, but really, really emotionally attached to this thing. For reasons that I explained in my Album of the Year video. Yeah, devastating. Rest in peace to one of the greatest to ever do it, and just a completely unmatched force in the underground, who we will never see again. This is going up, 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 down. Here. That, I think, is where we're going with this. All right. Ooh. KO Dot. Choirs of the Eye. Up here. And up, 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 up. Here. One of the best experimental, avant-garde metal records ever. I love Maudlin of the Well, too. I will probably include one of their records, but I'm still not sure right now what that's going to be. But man, it's just so incredible. They're doing so much with kind of the experimental rockier sections. It almost sounds proggy at times, but it never gets too... it never feels like it's going up its own ass, you know? Yeah, it just keeps getting better and better until it's over, and then it's over, and then you want to listen to it again, because it keeps getting better and better the next time, and the next time, and the next time you listen to it. Oh. King Crimson. Oh, hang on. King Crimson. Court of the Crimson King. I forgot with this, they block it, so you have to go copy image address. Oh, no, it's custom. Image link. King Crimson in the court of the Crimson King. Remember that? Yeah. Thanks, Robert Fripp. It's going up here. I think I like a lot of the stuff here a little more than it at this point, but man. It's going above Autechre, but below The Cure. I don't need to say anything about this record because everyone knows everything about it. But yeah. Oh yeah, we're doing live albums, so let's go. Live at Red Rocks 22. Oh, do I have to include the apostrophe? Where is it? Is this it? Is this all I can have? Gizzard. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, live at Red Rocks by King Gizzard from 2022. The super, super long one. King Gizzard, I love all of their albums pretty much, but I don't think they have a studio album that I think is necessarily perfect. But that's almost entirely because all of their stuff sounds better live. And so the fact that we have a live album that contains most of their entire discography and all of it is perfect. Absurd. I'm putting this pretty high in this section. I'm going to put it above the Heavenly EP. Okay. Kraftwerk, who I am incredibly excited. I got tickets for me and my partner to see live in Montreal soon. So that's going to be crazy. Man Machine is my favorite. It's kind of a basic pick, but I love it a lot. Computer World, also fantastic, but Man Machine is just the most all-around, like, best package, I think. Every song is improved on the King Gizzard live album. Like, every song is better than its original form. And it's every song. Like, it's all of the songs, and they are better. Because, like I said, I don't think there are any King Gizzard albums that are necessarily perfect in and of themselves, but the live performances of every song are, without fail, better than the studio. Like, unquestionably to me. Anyways, back to Kraftwerk, the founding fathers of electronic music, and just a great, fantastic album that I'm going to put above Disharmonium. I'm going to put above Blade. I'm going to put it above... Oh, whoops. I'm going to put it above JID. That's where I'm going to leave it. Natalia Lafourcade with De Todas las Flores, which is one of the most beautiful albums you will ever hear in your life. And it might not even make the list. This is so tough. Oh. This is so hard. I think that's where I'm going to leave it. But man. Ooh. Okay. This one's got to be here, you know. Kendrick Lamar. To Pimp a Butterfly. Is going up top, but it's probably actually staying at the bottom of this top section because it's a perfect album. It's super whatever. Everyone loves this album. But I think personally I have less and less attachment to it as time goes on and more attachment to everything else above it on this list. So it's going to go up here, but last. Oh, good Lord. The Long Goodbye by LCD Sound System, which I talked about. I am going to finish this trilogy eventually, by the way. I have a couple other things I want to do first, but the LCD Sound System video is coming, and one of the best bands ever giving their final farewell. I'm going to put it right behind To Pimp a Butterfly, I think. Let's keep going. Lil Ugly Mane Is it even here? Uneven Compromise. One song, 10 minutes. One of the best songs ever made. Like, point blank, period. It tells such a compelling story over such a interesting set of beats that switch through each other in this really fascinating and touching way, really. Like, he's doing a lot thematically, story-wise, everything is so perfect about it. It's his best rapping too. I love this thing so much. I'm even gonna put it up here next to Death Grips. Okay, lingua ignota. I'm gonna let you guys guess this one. Which lingua ignota do you think is my favorite? There are 3 options. In fact, while you do that, I have to be right back. I'll be back in, like, hopefully less than 2 minutes. You guys can guess my favorite lingua ignota. We're back. Hello. We're back, and you guys have made some guesses about my favorite lingua ignota. And some of you, one of you is right. No, none of you are right. One of you is almost right. One of you wants it to be what it is. All Bitches Die is my favorite lingua ignota album. They're all perfect. They're all basically on a flat, like, there is no up and down in her discography. They're all amazing. I think All Bitches Die just, like, has had the most replay value for me, and has stuck with me the most. You said you wanted it to be All Bitches Die. You didn't say it was gonna be All Bitches Die. So I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna put it up in... Ooh. This is getting really difficult. Oh, whoa. Here. That's fine. That's fine with me. Okay. On the opposite end of things, Linkin Park. I'm not scrolling up. Linkin Park, Meteora, one of the best albums ever. No hesitation. I'm not sorry. It's not going to make it all the way up here or anything, but I'm going to put it here. Above JPEG Mafia. Have I listened to much Unwound? I have. Just wait. The microphones, even sooner. Alright, here's one that some of you might not know, but if you know it, then you love it. Love lost, but not forgotten. Come on. Did I typed this right. Where did... Huh? Does it have a different name somewhere? Nope. Alright, well, it wasn't going to make it to the top of the list, but Love Lost But Not Forgotten, their self-titled record, one of the best screamo records ever made. Up there with, like, Orchid and Jerome's Dream. So listen to that. Emo violence, not screamo. I mean, they're the same-ish, but similar scene to, like, Orchid and Jerome's Dream. So you gotta listen to that. Am I sitting too high? No, I'm in the right spot. Low. I Could Live in Hope. Oh, whoops. I Could Live in Hope. Maybe my favorite slowcore record? It is very possible. In fact, I would even put this over Transatlanticism. This was... I mean, I got into this record right before Mimi died, and it was, like, really, really devastating, as it was just when I was listening to them and getting really, like, emotionally invested in their music. This record is, like, life-changingly good. There is not a moment of this that is wasted or less good than the rest. It's just so perfect. So that's my favorite Low record. That's one of my favorite albums ever. Let's go. Leaving Silent Trodden. Did any of you guys listen to this? It's probably not going to make it up the whole list. It's going to go at the bottom of this segment. This is absurd. It is a drone brostep album, and it is exactly as insane as it sounds, and even better. So, while I let you go... Love Lost, but... Oh, that's weird. Interesting. Okay, good to know. I'm going to move these down real quick. We are getting through the list. I am good to keep going, but I might end up having to cut the thing. The VOD for the stream, if I can figure out how to do it, will be saved and available. I hope, but we'll see if I can figure that out. Mad Villain. Mad Villainy. There's not too much to say about it. It's just the best abstract hip-hop, maybe, like one of them at least. And also the best, like, chemistry between collaborator and rapper, like producer and rapper out there. I'm gonna put it right here, I think. Yeah. Next up, ooh, Magdalena Bay Imaginal Disc is going... Is it going that high? Am I going to put it that high? Here, I'm gonna put it there. Yes, yeah. So yeah. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorite my favorite bands of, like, my favorite band of the decade by a lot, putting out their best album by a decent amount. I am so excited to see them live. I suggest... What? What is happening? When the Pawn being... Yeah, When the Pawn is one of my favorite albums ever. Okay, I accidentally skipped... Lua, are you still here? Lua Collider. I just want to shout this out. It's not going to make the whole list because I need more time to sit with it. But it is definitely the best album of this new year so far. Like, handily. There's nothing that even really comes close. So listen to this. It's probably not going to make the Topster. I'm going to put it at the bottom just in case. But I need more time to sit with it, but it's fucking good. All right. Drone album, Callie Malone, Living Torch. Did any of you remember this from my 2022 video? Probably not, but it's amazing. It's one of my favorite drone records ever. Probably maybe my favorite drone record ever. Super cool organ stuff happening here, and I want to put it really high, I think. Oh, there's so much good stuff on this list. I'm going to put this next to Lux. Okay. Moving on. Ooh, anyone here listen to Maria and the Mirrors with Vision Quest? This thing is crazy. So it's like a club record filtered through crazy power noise, power electronics, like absurdly blown out dance beats to just explode your brain to. This is one of the craziest pieces of music ever, and I'm gonna put it above that. Oh, I'm gonna put it above Boredoms too. Okay. I Speak Because I Can by Laura Marling. A lot of people, Laura Marling's not a small artist, but I feel like a lot of people skip this record, and you should not, because it is one of, if not my favorite folk record. Not my favorite, because Nick Drake's up here, but one of my favorite folk records ever. It means so much to me, and I want everyone to go listen to it. So I'm going to put it here. The Sacrificial Code. Remind me who did that. Is that also Callie Malone? It is, yes. Okay, that album's also fantastic. All right, I mentioned this band 3 hours ago almost, but the Mars Volta with Francis the Mute is going around here-ish. Let's go above Linkin Park. No, let's go a little higher than that. Let's go here. And then, I hope Emily's still here. Emily is probably not here anymore. This is not my first time. I do it every year. But this year is the first time I'm streaming it, because I was going to do it anyways. I might as well get some engagement out of it. It'll be fun. Divorce lawyers, I shave my head. You guys heard this. Emily was mentioning it earlier, but I think Emily left. This is Neutral Milk Hotel, but good. That's facetious. But it's like, I've described it as a meat album. It is a very like almost body horror representation of queerness and transness through a folksy, slowcore lens. It's like a more drawn out, less aggressive version of AJJ, and I love it so much. I'm gonna put it way up above Coil, below Black Dresses. And then Mastodon. I made a video about them a while ago. They've grown off me a little bit. Not like they haven't gotten any worse. I just like listen to different music now than I did it then. Should you listen to it if you get upset by body horror? It's not so grotesque, but it is it's uncomfy, but it's not gross, you know? If if that makes sense. Um yeah. Oh wait, what the hell is happening? I'm Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm messing up on my end. Um the chat is like super delayed on my end. That's what's going on. There's something wrong. Anyways, Mastodon can go around the same place as Mars Volta, I think. Yeah, Divorce Lawyer's very, very good. I think I like it where it is right now, but it could. There's a world where it's top 10 if I listen to it more. We're getting into some serious banger territory. Let's go with Maudlin of the Well. So, both of these albums are perfect. Bath and Leaving Your Body Map. What if I cheat and do this combined one down here? Would that be fair for me to do? They do belong together. Like, there isn't a... They came out the same day. I'm cheating. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna put it up pretty high. Above the dock. Thank you for the compliment on the Uboa shirt. I am gonna have to leave pretty soon, so let's... where would be a good point to cut off at? I'm gonna do like 4 more. Okay, let's go fast. Curtis Mayfield. Self-titled. Move on up. Banger. One of the greatest soul records ever made. More than that, even more than that Baby Huey album, which you have to listen to if you haven't. I'm gonna put it above Dead Kennedys. Next, let's go to Paul McCartney, which I like more than any Beatles album, but probably going to stay in the bottom section right here. And then, this seems like a good spot to end off. The Microphones. It's Mount Erie. And you know what? Do I like it more than Skinny Fists? Ooh. You know what? Right now? Yeah. Yeah. That's where I'm feeling with it. Okay, so I gotta go. But I'm gonna try tomorrow around the same time, maybe a little earlier, maybe like 1 or 2. I'm gonna come back tomorrow around 1 or 2, and I'm gonna finish this out. It's gonna be less long. This was 3 hours. But yeah, thanks for watching. There's still 46 people here. That's crazy. I have never had that many people watching me specifically on a stream. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you guys want to chat with me, I think... Oh, whoops. Get this off my screen. I think what I'm gonna do, once I'm done this, I'm gonna let my Patreon pick what I'm doing when I stream. I'm gonna give some options, obviously, but I'm gonna let my Patreon, like, pick what I do when I stream so that I have some kind of structure. So, if you guys want to help me figure this format out and get into a better habit of doing it, go ahead and give me... It's $3 a month for my Patreon, and you get infinite, like, forever access for that one entry fee. So, yeah, if you want to help me figure out what I'm doing, give me some ideas for streams, that's where you can do it. I'm gonna head out now, and I will hopefully see you all again tomorrow. Bye!